Good morning, everyone. I hope that you had a great New Year's and a blessed New Year's day with your family and friends. And this morning, I'd like to continue on the message from Sunday. And I have a few notes here, so please forgive me. I need to take a look at them. But in general, we talked about the fact that we have to worship in spirit, and many people have different ideas of what that means. And I want to spend the next few days really sort of like developing that thought and helping us to understand how we can worship God in the Spirit. And so we'll continue that today. The Bible tells us that we are made up of three different parts, as I said, the body, soul, and spirit, and the soul is the reference to the natural man. The Bible alternately calls it the soul, it calls it the flesh as well. And it also refers to it as natural man, as we're going to see in 1 Corinthians 2:14 this morning. So let's start there. It says in this verse, "But the natural, soulish man does not receive the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him, nor can he know them because they are spiritually discerned or spiritually understood." And so we cannot discern what God is even trying to show us as a natural, soulish person. And a person may be extremely intelligent and smart and have many gifts, able to speak well and communicate well. They may have tremendous gifts of humor and all of those things that we have. We have a lot of fleshly gifts, but the bottom line is those gifts are not able to discern the Spirit. And so as we approach God, we have to be careful at how we approach Him. Human beings hold intellect and gifts in high regard. We think that our minds and our brains are able to comprehend all the things of the world. But they're really, as far as God is concerned, they're totally inadequate as far as understanding Him. We may understand a lot of things about ourselves in terms of what the world represents to us, but in terms of understanding Him, we can't do it without the Spirit. And so we resort to a lot of doctrines and theologies and religion, and as we seek to know God from a natural fleshly state, we miss the mark quite often, and that's very dangerous. It could lead, for some, if the error is great, it can lead to eternal death. So the Apostle Paul was appalled, as it were, by this whole phenomena. He speaks to it in Galatians, and he also speaks to it in Colossians. And I want to read what he says in Colossians this morning, ask us to apply it to ourselves and our understanding of what we need to do so that God can speak to us in our spirit. In Colossians 2:20 through 23, it says the following: "Therefore, if you died with Christ from the basic principles of the world, why, as though living in the world, do you subject yourselves to regulations? Things such as do not touch, do not taste, do not handle, which all concern things which perish or are temporary according to the commandments and doctrines of men. These things," the things being rules, regulations, and doctrines, "have an appearance of wisdom, self-imposed religion, false humility, and neglect of the body, but are of no value against the indulgences of the flesh." And so Paul here clearly is asking us why, if we understand the gospel of grace, and we know that the blood of Jesus Christ cleanses us from all sins, do we enter into now a relationship with Christ on a religious basis and with our intellectual understanding? And why do we subject ourselves to a lot of rules and regulations and doctrines of men, which he rightly calls false religion? It really is, or false humility. And it is false religion, because really God is not a religion. God is a relationship, and He died so that we might have a relationship with Him. And so we want to look at how do we move away from what our idea of worshiping God is, because a lot of that is done in the flesh, got to be honest with you. And a lot of us go to institutions which specialize in worshiping God in the flesh. But God has asked us to come to Him in spirit, and that doesn't take sitting in a building with a lot of other people. It really starts one-on-one with us. And I want to talk about that. I will talk about it some more this week, and I ask that you would pray for me and you as well as we look at this subject. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless. Bye.